join us.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you and see you.
Okay. And you can see me. Okay, perfect. I have on my phone um, our Facebook page up, so I just want to refresh it to see what we're looking like here.
Cool.
Yes, I just got a notification. Positive Coaching
You're
Alliance is
live.
we're on. Awesome. Well, let's give people a couple minutes to join us. But I know we don't have too much time, so I do want to jump into the interview. But I do
Yep.
appreciate your time joining us today. Thank you all for joining us. This is Marty Reed. I'm with Positive Coaching Alliance. I'm our National Partnerships and Marketing Manager. And today I have with us David Krichavsky. He is the VP for NBA, and he's the head of the youth basketball development. So that's the junior NBA, their youth programs that they have on the grassroots level, participation programs for boys and girls that brings the fundamental skills and core values of the game, to just improve the overall experience for families. So thank you for joining us today, David.
Thank you for having me, Marty. It's great to see you from across the country and really appreciate our partnership with PCA.
Thank you. Yeah, so I see some people are joining us now. For those that are joining us, thanks for joining us. And feel free to ask questions in the comments. I'm actually following along on my phone so I can see the questions that you're asking in the comments. So thanks for joining us, everyone, for taking the time to be with us this morning. So, David, as we know, this is unprecedented times. And I really appreciate how Junior NBA has adjusted and adapted after the COVID-19 pandemic. You guys have been offering so many resources and initiatives right now, really providing that help for families. Can you talk to us a bit about what the Junior NBA is doing right now and some of those resources that you've been sharing?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 2 weeks ago, we launched Junior MBA at Home, which is a new interactive content series really designed to keep young people physically active,
Yep.
give them an opportunity to work on their basketball skills, and also a chance to remain connected with the NBA and our players and our teams during a time that, as you said, Marty, we're stuck inside
Right.
and socially isolated from a lot of people. And so it's been a fun campaign for us. It's been a successful campaign for us. We've had over 17 million video views globally
Wow.
of the Junior NBA at Home series, and we've seen just tremendous participation from the whole NBA community, our players, NBA players, WNBA players, coaches, members of the strength and conditioning community. So we're adapting to this unusual time like everyone else is.
Yes, that you are. And we've been seeing a lot of these resources. We'll actually share the link in this post so those that are watching along can tap into those resources and find out a bit more about it. PCA has actually been partnered with the Junior NBA since 2017, I believe, and that includes us doing live workshops at the Global Championships, being a part of your Coach of the Year program, coach forums, parent forums, sharing PCA tips and tools in your curriculum. Can you talk to us a bit about the partnership and how that has impacted, the Junior NBA and some of those impacts that you've been seeing?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was only 2017. I assumed that we were working together from at least when we relaunched the Junior NBA in 2015 because you're one of our closest partners and there's a number of elements as you said, Marty, programs that we work on and ways that we think we benefit from our partnership from you and certainly all the resources that PCA has.
Yep.
The trainings. I'll embarrass you for a second, Marty, having seen you conduct a training as recently as 6 weeks ago or so when we were in Chicago for the NBA All-Star Game, and the way that you connect with a room of coaches and really all the PCA trainers do is just unbelievable. But I think personally for me, what I really appreciate about PCA is that so many people take for granted all the great things that come out of youth sports. Like we know the values that young people learn, we know all the benefits of participation, but sometimes it's just a black box and we assume a kid is going to enroll in a youth sports program and they're going to come
Yeah.
out a better person. PCA makes a science of it, and they create trainings and they create tools and they create different online resources, and actually helps us advance how sports can become this transformative experience for young people. And so the partnership's a terrific one. Appreciate all that you do, all your colleagues do. I know we have relationships not just at the league level where we work with your national offices, but so many of our teams work with your local chapters. And it's really a core part of what we do as the Junior MBA.
Thank you. Yes, I appreciate you saying that because we feel it too. And we have definitely felt that impact and seen the impact. And it's been really a pleasure working with you and your team. For those that are joining us right now, I'm Marty Reed with Positive Coaching Alliance, and we have David Krichavsky here with the Junior NBA, sharing about the resources that they have been doing and how they've been adjusting and adapting to our current times. I want to give some shout outs to those that are watching along. I see you, Jeannie Garcia, Casey Miller, Emily Archibald. Thank you all for joining us, and feel free to, ask some questions as we have this chat today. We actually have launched our theme, Life is a Team Sport. And now more than ever, it's so important for us to be working together and being on the same team. I think that's very similar to, the NBA Together initiative that you guys have with supporting and engaging and educating and inspiring, families across the globe. I'd love to talk about our current theme for this week is coaching kids at home. Now, you have children. You have two girls, right?
I do, age 7 and 4, and they have been going through the Junior MBA at home drills as well as a host of other digital resources to keep them moving during this time indoors.
Yeah, talk to us a bit about how this time indoors has been, and any advice you have for the parents out there who are spending a lot more time with their kids at home and maybe who have to sub in now as the coach when they're used to just being the parent. How are they, coaching their kids at home?
Yeah, I'll take advice rather than give advice. Some of the commenters, please weigh in here. As much as the coaching has been a part of this experience for me, I'd say the teaching and the homeschooling has probably been more so been part of the experience. And one of the things that I've learned in terms of, dealing with my kids in a much more intimate way than I ever had on the academic side, and I think it relates to the coaching side, is really trying to understand what's in their heads and how they're processing information. And this is such an uncertain time for all of us. And the idea of doing school at home, or the idea of doing dribbling drills at home, as my daughters have been doing, is just so atypical. And it's atypical and it's uncertain for us as adults, and it's even more so as kids. And so I've tried to find those quiet moments individually with each of my girls. And again, they're young, so the level of sophistication is probably different than with a teenager or with older children. But to really try and get inside their heads and what's going on. And then you can modify your coaching, you can modify your teaching, just to understand where their worries are, where the excitement is. I mean, being at home and not at school can be a great thing to kids. So, and I know it's a lesson you teach coaches all the time in less abnormal situations, is really getting yourself in that kid's head and understanding how you can connect with each person as an individual. And that's a tool that I've just found myself going back to time and again these days.
Right. And that sounds just like our model for coaching, the double goal coach, a coach who has the first obvious goal of winning and competing, but the second more important goal is teaching life lessons to their kids and developing the character of the kids that they're coaching. I mean, thinking about your years in youth sports, do you recall a coach that had an impact on you and, maybe some reasons why you remember that coach?
Yeah, for sure. And I could name a number. I'd start with my high school basketball coach, someone who was hugely influential. And I think the takeaway for me there was just the power that coaches have. The littlest gesture, the facial reaction, after you commit a turnover and look over
Yeah.
towards the bench. What is said in those, moments in between plays or in timeouts, like those will stick with you as a
Right.
player, as a youth sports player, for days and weeks and sometimes, decades when I think back to some of the things my coach said to me. And so it does underscore the importance of the work that you do and the importance of the work that the Junior NBA tries to do and so many other organizations in terms of making sure that they're trained coaches and that they have a sense of what that double goal is. And so those little
Right.
moments can be multipliers in both positive and negative directions and ensuring that, they do head in positive directions as often as possible.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned body language and how that is so important because we definitely feed off of body language. We talk about body language being a huge part of communication, even nonverbal communication. And that's something that parents can also work on at home, how they're reacting to their kids and the body language, during this time is important as well. So thanks for sharing that. Um,
Yeah, just
so
don't look at my body language when I'm trying to get one of my girls off their iPads for the third hour that they've been looking at a screen. But we do what we can during these times.
Right. And I'm starting to hear more kids outside, like just, jump roping or playing with hula hoops and things like that I'm not used to hearing outside my house. So it's kind of really great to see, and hear the laughter of kids playing outside with their parents or something right now, because normally they'd be at school or somewhere else. So actually taking that time to kind of play the old school way, right?
Yeah. No, and
Hopscotch. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's one of the things that we've started to really add in on the Junior MBA at Home curriculum is drills that parents can do with their kids. And so a lot of the initial drills that we developed were individual skills or individual home fitness workouts, but increasingly we're doing, parent-child drills and are getting a lot of really positive feedback on those.
100%. And for those that are joining us now, the Junior NBA has launched Junior NBA at Home, where they have NBA players, WNBA players that have come on here and shared drills that you can do at home, whether it be how to dribble, how to pass the ball correctly. They have so many clips up here from excellent teachers that you can tap into. We actually included the link in the comments section on here, and we'll also be sharing out these videos. I mean, there's so many awesome athletes on here, not just current NBA players, but NBA legends too. Like, man, oh my goodness, like you have so many great videos on here, and we're definitely going to be sharing out those resources. So thanks for providing that. Now, how can we have so many national governing bodies and youth sports right now that really want to continue to provide help for their audiences. How can youth sports continue to grow in this time? What's your advice or
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on how we can continue to grow youth sports?
Yeah, so it's certainly an unusual moment, and so where we've really focused on is how do you continue to connect with people, and where can you create forums, and it's going to be different. It's not going to be connecting on the court or on the sidelines. It's going to be
Right.
in most cases virtual, like we're doing now, and so certainly communication and the importance of having more communication than ever is something that we've really learned. And so, as you know, Marty, because you work with so many of them, we have our 30 NBA team, our 12 WNBA teams. They all have youth basketball programs. We usually get them together on calls every 6 weeks or so. We've been doing that for the past 2 weeks weekly. We have our Junior NBA flagship network, another group that you do some work with, and they're doing weekly calls now and have really taken the impetus on their own to convene and get together and share, what they're hearing, how they're adjusting their businesses to this current moment. And so I think, everyone who's trying to figure out what's next is, finding those key stakeholders that are important to you that you can learn from and making sure that you're increasing your communication with them is probably a good place to start.
Absolutely. And that's such great advice. I was going to actually ask, how the NBA staff is actually working to stay connected during this time
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
advice to continue to build team. and community, because right now we're all far away, we're virtual. Those that are joining us, comment and let us know where you're watching from, where you're tapping in from. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you're tapping in right now. I'm also looking to see if anyone has any questions. Again, this is David Krichavsky from the Junior NBA, Head of Youth Development, and coaching our kids at home. That's one of the themes that we have this week, right? Now, when kids are maybe working with parents at home and might get frustrated or down on themselves, or they're feeling frustration, what are some ways that you can help, stay positive and lift them up in those moments? What are some advice that you have for parents in those moments?
Yeah, going back to the basics and building that confidence back up is a tool that I've used. And so, there's a wide range in our Junior NBA at Home series of skills that are relatively basic and skills that are a bit more advanced. Particularly some of the dribbling sequences can get a bit more advanced. But really, the series overall is designed to work for players of all skill levels. And so, if you are using one of the drills that's perhaps a bit more advanced, you can return to one of the earlier, easier drills that a player can have more success with and kind of build the confidence back up that way, and then perhaps return at a later point to another one of the drills that was creating some frustration before. So that's one thing I've seen at home with my family.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. And I do see, watching the videos that you've shared at Junior NBA at Home, and how it is a spectrum, how it is something where youth that may be just experiencing the sport for the first time can learn, or, players that are very experienced and highly competitive are also learning as well. So I'm glad that there's a huge spectrum there, and the level of competition, is across the board, and multiple people and multiple kids and families can tap into that. So we do have a question. So let's see. Tim Brady asked, do you think youth sports is going to take a step backward before it is able to move forward? Okay, and if so, what kind of time frame do you think that would take?
It's a hard time for youth sports. There's no question about that. And so much of what we do, those of us that are in this space, is bring young people together, for these unique experiences. And we can't do that, in person right now. So, are we seeing a challenging time for the youth sports industry, for operators, for facilities? Absolutely. Like, all industries across society are facing those challenges. I think it's really too hard to say at this point what kind of long-term impact or how long it's going to take to recover. Something that we've been spending a fair amount of time thinking about is, at some point, and hopefully sooner rather than later, we're going to come back online and play, in the social, communal sense, is going to return. And that's going to be a really, really powerful, special moment. And you can kind of picture the parks filling up and kids being outdoors and playing. And there'll be a real opportunity to celebrate that moment and to rebuild then. And so I think all of us involved in this space, as much as we can look forward to that, think about that, plan for that, we'll probably be well served.
Absolutely. Great answer. And that's great advice. Jenny Wilburn, thanks for your comment. She said, I think encouraging messages from the players, the NBA players, WNBA players, while they are doing the drills will be really helpful too. I think the kids would really think that is cool and great to receive a positive message from these icons. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I've been seeing that as well. The players aren't just going on there teaching the skills and drills. They're also encouraging, those watching to stay positive and stay upbeat and stay encouraged. So that's really great. And we also have our online course right now offered for free for athletes to tap into. We'll share the link on here of how athletes can access our Triple Impact Competitor online course. That's another thing to do while you're at home during this time. Why not stay educated and continue to grow, elevating yourself, your teammates, and the game as a whole? So I really hope that athletes take advantage of our free online triple impact competitor course. So I definitely want to wrap up here pretty soon. I want to thank all those that have joined us this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Thank you so much, David, for joining us and sharing your expertise with us and sharing your time with us. This has been a great, great interview. Just for people that are just new to the Positive Coaching Alliance community, please like our page, share this video out. We'll continue to be doing these Facebook Live series interviews because we think it's very important to stay connected, just like David was sharing. And I really appreciate Junior MBA for how you continue to educate and encourage and offer these resources as we adjust and adapt to this time. So anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
No, thank you, Marty, and thank you to all your PCA colleagues around the country for the work that you do. As I said, we're incredibly proud to partner with you, and the work is tremendous, and it makes us all better. So, we'll keep doing it virtually, and we'll keep putting out at-home resources, but look forward to getting back on the court and getting back in live training sessions with you as well as soon as we're ready to do that.
Right back at you. Thank you so much, and thanks everyone for joining us this morning. Everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and make it a great day. Thank you.
Sure.